So hi guys, my name is Harnoor and I'm currently an international student on F1 visa in the US, and today I'll be talking about how this email scared me and how this new rule affects all the international students in the US and outside US. So let's get started.
I see where Harvard announced that they're closing for the season or for the year. I think it's ridiculous.
So before I read my email that I've gotten from the university or talk about this new rule, let me tell you the idea behind this new rule. So the idea is that according to President Trump, he thinks that 99% of the coronavirus cases in this pandemic are completely harmless. So the idea is to make the economy run back again, to bring students, whether they are kindergarten or 12-year kid in high school or middle school or even in college, to bring back to the campus, to bring professors back to the campus. So the universities reopen, libraries reopen, gyms reopen, so the jobs are running again. There are more students working in library, there are people working in library, there are people working on campus. So the economy will run back again, there will be more jobs and people will no more be jobless. So that's the main idea.
We want to reopen the schools. Everybody wants it. The moms want it, the dads want it, the kids want it.
Now talking about this rule, this is not a new rule at all. This is how American education system had worked in the past before this pandemic happened in March 2020. So starting March 2020, what happened was suddenly all the classes in most of the universities in the US, it switched from in-person or hybrid class to an online mode. So they were forced to change it temporarily from March 2020 till summer 2020. Now it just got revoked, or you can say it just got resetted to the point it was before. So now as we know that this is not a new rule, now let's talk about how this rule changes how the students are studying in the US. So this rule states that all the students who are currently in the online program, let's say that Harvard University, Princeton University, MIT, so all these students who are in completely online program, they will be kicked out. They will have to leave the country, or they will have to either transfer to a university which has either hybrid or you can say in-person program where you will have maximum one online class. So that means that you will have to forcefully attend these classes in your home country, let's say India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. But the problem in this new rule is that a lot of international students, for example, a lot of students going to Harvard University, Princeton University are on financial aid. More than 50% of the students in Harvard are on financial aid. So imagine if they are from a region or from a country where they have Wi-Fi issues, where they have long time gaps. So let's say that if I'm in India, I will have to stay awake till 4 or 5 a.m. to attend all my online classes. So that will be extremely difficult. So imagine that. So in this scenario, this rule makes very difficult for all the international students who will not be in the US to take these online classes. So let's talk about two scenarios in which this rule is affecting all the students. Number one scenario, that you already have an F1 visa. Number two scenario, you don't have an F1 visa and you're planning to get an F1 visa for this fall 2020 semester. So let's say that you're on F1 visa first. So in this scenario, that let's say you are currently in the US or in India, irrespective, let's say even if you are doing internship in summer semester currently right now, you are an OPT, whatsoever you are doing right now, it will not affect you. That was one of the most asked question in my DMs. So it's only going to start from fall 2020. So now let's talk about fall 2020. So now what's going to happen is that if you are in Harvard, Princeton, MIT, wherever they have only online program, you will be forced to leave the US, or you will have to stay in your country to attend these online classes, and you will not be allowed to come to United States. You have two options right now. Number one option is to take a gap semester. So you can skip fall semester and you can do whatever you want to. You can maybe study in India and in another program for just one semester. You can do whatever you want to. Number two option could be you can transfer for one semester to a different university, like maybe UC Berkeley, Georgia Tech, which offers you a hybrid program where you will have maximum one online class and remaining all 3 or 4 classes will be in person or in classroom. So that's what this rule will force you to do. Now let's talk about scenario number 2, that you're planning to get an F1 visa for future and you want to come to maybe Harvard, MIT or any university in the future. Now, if you're coming to university which is completely online like Harvard, MIT, Princeton, as I said, you will not be allowed to get an F1 visa. You will not be allowed to come to the US. So that means you have option number 1, take online class take online classes in that university and stay in India. So do you know why? Because this is possible. This is possible only because of the fact that you don't even need an F1 visa if your program is completely online. For example, let's say that I want to do masters at Georgia Tech. I can do at Georgia Tech online, even if I'm in India, even if I'm in Australia, wherever I am, I can do that masters at my home country, in my home country, without any visa. So that's a great thing about it. So you will be in the same scenario, and you can probably get an F1 visa for the next semester and do that. Now option number 2 is that you can defer. That, I think that's a better option. Do you know why? Because deferring, or let's say that you defer your semester from fall 2020 to spring 2021. That's going to be better, because let's say you're paying like $35,000 or $70,000 for Harvard if you do not have financial aid. It's going to be super expensive just to struggle. So you're waking up at we're sleeping at 5 a.m. to attend these classes, and on the top of that you're paying around $30,000 to $35,000. And even Harvard, they just reduce 10% of the tuition fee, so it's still going to be very expensive, and the struggle is going to be a lot in if the Wi-Fi speed is not that good in your home country. So maybe deferring to spring 2021 or fall 2021 could be a better decision. And one best decision could be that if you start your program in India where the credits can be transferred. So let's say that I go to let's say in my city Amritsar, I go to Guru Nanak Dev University, and I check that the courses I take can be transferred. I will go for it, and it's going to be super cheap, and I will be able to transfer when I go to my future university. So that could be a better option too. So you have to do your research and wait for universities to give a better decision, to clear picture of what's gonna happen in the future.
I see where Harvard announced that they're closing for the season or for the year. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's an easy way out, and I think they ought to be ashamed of themselves. You don't know if people are helping them. I guess their endowment's plenty big. They don't have any problem with that, but that's not what we want to do.
Now here comes another interesting update. President Trump wasn't happy with the decision taken by Princeton University, Harvard, MIT to just stick with online semester, because he wanted to bring back the economy up, to bring more students, to open the jobs, and he didn't like the decision, and he still thinks that 99% of the cases are harmless. But for that reason, Harvard and MIT have been discussing to file a lawsuit against US government and all sort of that. So I think anything can change tomorrow. So let's hope and wait for the best. And also talking about COVID in general, I can tell you, being from a public university like Georgia State University, even Georgia Tech is a public university, I have seen classes as big as 200 students in a classroom, 300 students in a classroom. And in this environment, professor can be 50 years old, 60 years old. So imagine the probability of you becoming affected. Even if you nothing happens to you, you still go back home, and if you have elderly people around, you will affect them. And I don't see it. It doesn't make sense to still think about an in-person classroom idea for fall semester. I still think it's risky. So I don't personally like the decision taken by the US government to force universities to bring back students, to bring back professors. But nonetheless, let's hope for the best. And now finally, let's talk about the email. I completely forgot about the email. So the email says that from now on, as the program is going to be hybrid, so it is students' responsibility. Let's say I'm a student, on my portal, it's my responsibility to take maximum one class online. If I do not do that, I will get an email within 1 week or 10 days. You have to go back and leave country because you took more than one class online, and remaining should be in class or in hybrid model. So you have to make sure it's your responsibility. So register your classes wisely. Make sure you get it checked by your advisor, and so on and so forth. So now I've seen, because of this rule, most of the universities in the US, like for example California State Universities, or maybe all around the universities in the US, are trying their best to convert from online semester to an in-class or hybrid model where you have maximum one class online. And if you look into MIT's idea, what they're planning is first year students, second year students, third year students will not be coming to campus for fall 2020. Only seniors will be coming, the fourth year students will be coming, and in spring 2021 they're going to make the switch. They're going to bring in first, second, third year students and send back the final year students home. They will pretty much graduate. So the point is, they are trying to make a balance and keep only 40 to 50% of the students on campus in one semester. So that's their whole idea. So now the conclusion, and for me personally, I'm an OPT, so I'm personally not affected, thank God. But the conclusion for you guys is, let's hope for the best, and out of the options that I've given you, choose the most wise option for you. And I hope universities give you a better, clear picture. For example, some universities in Texas like UT Arlington hasn't announced yet, but UT Austin has already told that it's going to be a hybrid program. So let's wait on the universities to provide you a clear picture of what's going to happen, whether they're going to like take fees without even giving you an F1 visa, or they're going to like try to convert to hybrid program so that they can bring you to the campus. So let's see what happens. So that's pretty much it. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.